This module compares two of the most widely used lighting control protocols in the industry, DMX and DALI. While these technologies are often discussed as alternatives, they were designed to solve different problems and support different types of lighting applications. At a high level, DMX is intended for dynamic lighting environments where individual fixtures may operate at different colors, intensities, or positions at any given instant. DALI is intended for white light installations where fixtures are generally creating the same effect, such as intensity, at any given instant. That distinction is the foundation for everything covered in this presentation. It explains the differences in architecture, performance, scalability, and application suitability. As you'll see throughout the module, both technologies play important roles in modern lighting systems. The key is understanding where each protocol delivers the greatest value. This slide provides a high-level comparison of the two protocols. Many of the differences shown here reflect the original design goals of each technology. DMX prioritizes speed, responsiveness, and real-time control. DALI prioritizes device intelligence, reporting, and building-wide management capabilities. For example, DMX operates at 250 kilobits per second and continuously refreshes fixture data at approximately 44 times per second. DALI operates at 2 kilobits per second using a command-based architecture rather than a continuous data stream. Those differences directly affect real-world applications. Dynamic architectural facades, themed environments, hospitality feature spaces, entertainment venues, and media-driven lighting installations often require the responsiveness that DMX provides. Offices, schools, hospitals, and other operational building environments often benefit from DALI's diagnostics, reporting, and building management capabilities. You'll also notice that both technologies support approximately 300-meter segments, but the network architectures differ. DMX uses a daisy chain topology, while DALI supports daisy chain, star, and tree configurations. Both support two-way communication, although DMX requires RDM to provide that functionality. Neither protocol replaces the other. Each was designed to excel within a different set of requirements. This diagram illustrates a typical DMX architecture. Starting at the left, the lighting controller continuously transmits data down a daisy chain network. Every fixture receives the same data stream, but each fixture only responds to the channels assigned to its specific address. A single DMX universe supports up to 512 channels, with a maximum RS-485 run length of approximately 300 meters. Larger projects can be expanded through additional universes as control requirements grow. Standard DMX communication is controller to fixture. When feedback, diagnostics, remote addressing, and device discovery are required, RDM adds two-way communication capabilities. With RDM, designers and operators can remotely identify devices, monitor status, detect faults, and simplify commissioning without physically accessing every fixture. It is also important to remember that a modern DMX system is rarely limited to a single universe or a single cable run. Technologies such as ArtNet, Streaming A, C, N, and KaiNet allow multiple DMX universes to travel across a standard Ethernet network before being converted back to DMX near the fixtures. As a result, modern DMX systems can support everything from a small performance space to large architectural projects, media facades, hospitality environments, entertainment districts, corporate experience centers, and campus-scale lighting installations, while maintaining the responsiveness required for dynamic lighting control. This diagram illustrates a typical DALI architecture. Unlike DMX, DALI uses a polarity-free two-wire bus that supports bidirectional communication by design. Up to 64 devices can be connected to a single DALI line, with each device individually addressable. Communication flows in both directions, allowing luminaires, sensors, drivers, and control devices to report information back to the gateway. This may include operational status, energy usage, runtime information, and fault conditions. Another important characteristic is that scenes and group memberships are often stored within the devices themselves, creating a distributed control architecture that can simplify maintenance and system changes over time. These capabilities make DALI particularly effective for commercial, institutional, healthcare, and office environments where long-term operation, reporting, diagnostics, and building integration are key priorities. The trade-off is speed, and that distinction becomes important throughout the rest of this presentation. DALI communicates at approximately 1.2 kilobits per second using a command-based architecture. Rather than continuously streaming updates to every device, the system sends commands and receives responses. That is an excellent approach for scheduled lighting, occupancy-based control, daylight harvesting, energy reporting, and other building management functions. However, it was never intended to support hundreds of independent color changes per second across large numbers of fixtures. Applications such as color-changing facades, media facades, dynamic lobbies, themed environments, hospitality feature spaces, immersive experiences, and synchronized lighting effects demand a level of responsiveness that DALI was not designed to provide. Those applications are where DMX was purpose-built to excel. Understanding that distinction is important because both technologies are often used in architectural lighting projects, but they are solving very different problems. This slide highlights what each protocol was designed to optimize. On the DMX side, the benefits focus on speed, responsiveness, creative flexibility, and scale. Fast refresh rates support smooth fades, dynamic effects, complex RGBW fixtures, large channel counts, and independently controlled devices operating simultaneously. These capabilities become important whenever lighting is part of the visual experience. Examples include theatrical productions, broadcast environments, theme parks, entertainment districts, media facades, hospitality feature spaces, corporate experience centers, and color-changing architectural installations. Modern DMX ecosystems also benefit from a mature infrastructure of controllers, fixtures, networking technologies, and software tools developed over decades of use in both entertainment and architectural applications. On the DALI side, the benefits center around reporting, diagnostics, interoperability, occupancy integration, daylight harvesting, and operational efficiency. These capabilities make DALI particularly valuable in projects where lighting is primarily supporting building operations rather than serving as a visual feature. Commercial offices, educational facilities, healthcare environments, and energy-focused buildings are common examples. The key takeaway is that the strengths of each protocol are a direct reflection of the environment for which it was designed. Every control protocol involves trade-offs. For DMX, many of those trade-offs stem from the protocol's emphasis on performance and real-time control. DMX communication is controller to fixture by default, which is why technologies such as RDM are commonly used when fixture feedback, diagnostics, device discovery, and remote addressing are required. DMX also organizes control data into 512 channel universes. Unlike DALI, which is generally limited by device count, DMX is limited by the number of control channels required by each fixture. For example, a simple RGBW architectural luminaire may use just 4 channels, allowing more than 100 individually addressable fixtures within a single universe. At the other end of the spectrum, a moving light fixture with pan, tilt, color mixing, zoom, focus, and effects might require 60 channels or more by itself. As projects become larger or more sophisticated, additional universes can be added to support more fixtures, more parameters, or more complex lighting experiences. That leads to another consideration: universe planning. Larger installations require thoughtful allocation of fixtures, channels, and universes to ensure the system remains organized, scalable, and easy to maintain over time. Distance is another consideration. Native RS 485 DMX runs are typically limited to approximately 300 meters. As installations grow, designers often incorporate splitters, repeaters, fiber or Ethernet-based transport technologies to distribute control throughout a building, campus, entertainment district, or large-scale architectural project. Because DMX was originally designed for lighting control rather than building management, capabilities such as energy reporting typically require an additional system beyond the core protocol. DALI approaches the problem from a different direction. DALI was designed around intelligent building control, diagnostics, maintenance visibility, and operational efficiency. The trade-off is speed. Operating at approximately 1.2 kilobits per second, DALI is well suited for occupancy control, daylight harvesting, scheduling, diagnostics, and energy reporting. However, it was never designed for real-time color changes, dynamic scenes, media playback, chases, or highly responsive lighting effects. DALI systems are organized into lines, with each line supporting up to 64 devices. As projects grow, additional lines and gateways are added to expand the system, much like additional universes are added in larger DMX deployments. You'll also notice that DALI devices often carry a higher per-fixture hardware cost because more intelligence is built directly into the ecosystem. Commissioning can be another consideration. Device discovery, grouping, scene creation, and system configuration typically require specialized software and trained integrators. Taken together, these characteristics help explain why DALI excels in operational building environments, while DMX excels in dynamic lighting environments. That distinction becomes especially important in architectural lighting. A commercial office floor and a color-changing landmark facade may both be considered architectural lighting projects, but their control requirements are fundamentally different. One is focused on operational efficiency and building performance. The other is focused on creating a visual experience. Similarly, a back-of-house corridor and a hotel lobby may exist within the same building, yet place very different demands on the lighting system. Understanding those differences is often the key to selecting the appropriate control platform. One concern that sometimes comes up with DMX is scalability. If we think only in terms of a single DMX universe and a single RS-485 cable run, there are practical limits to how large a system can become. Modern DMX systems address that challenge by transporting DMX over standard Ethernet networks. Starting at the top left side of the diagram, the lighting control system generates the DMX data. Depending on the application, that might be a dedicated controller, such as an iPlayer, a VisionNet touch panel, an architectural control system, or an entertainment console, such as a Neo X15. That control data is then transmitted over Ethernet using protocols such as ArtNet, Streaming A, C, N, or Connect, and delivered to a standard Ethernet switch. Rather than sending DMX directly to every fixture, the Ethernet network acts as a backbone capable of carrying many DMX universes throughout the project. From the switch, the data is distributed to Ethernet nodes located throughout the installation. This is where the architecture becomes powerful. Each node can support multiple DMX universes and can be located much closer to the fixtures it serves. For example, Node 1 is delivering universes 1 and 2. Node 2 is delivering universes 3 through 6. And Node 3 is delivering universes 7 through 9. Instead of running long DMX cables across an entire building or campus, the Ethernet network carries the data over longer distances, while the DMX outputs remain local to each fixture group. This makes it possible to support far more fixtures, more control channels, and more complex lighting systems without being constrained by a single DMX run. The Ethernet nodes act as translators. They receive IP-based lighting data from the network and convert it back into physical DMX near each fixture cluster. This allows the system to take advantage of the scalability of Ethernet while preserving the fixture compatibility and responsiveness of DMX. By combining DMX with Ethernet transport technologies such as ArtNet, Streaming A, C, N, and Kynet, designers can scale from a small installation to thousands of fixtures while maintaining real-time control performance. The application patterns should now be becoming clear. On the DMX side, the common theme is experience-driven lighting. That certainly includes traditional entertainment applications such as theaters, concert venues, touring productions, broadcast studios, and themed attractions. However, it also includes many architectural applications: color-changing facades, landmark lighting, bridges, dynamic lobbies, hotel ballrooms, corporate experience centers, entertainment districts, media facades, and other feature spaces all benefit from the responsiveness and creative flexibility of DMX. Whenever lighting becomes part of the identity, atmosphere, destination appeal, or guest experience of a space rather than simply providing illumination, the advantages of DMX become increasingly relevant. On the DALI side, the common theme is operational lighting. Offices, schools, hospitals, hospitality guest room areas, retail environments, and energy-focused commercial buildings often benefit from DALI's diagnostics, reporting occupancy control, daylight harvesting, and building management capabilities. Both technologies play important roles in modern lighting projects. The most effective solution depends on the goals of the space. The decision matrix provides a practical framework for selecting the right protocol. Throughout this presentation, we have seen that DMX and DALI were designed for different priorities. DALI excels at operational lighting, while DMX excels at experience-driven lighting. That is why many successful architectural projects use both technologies together. The question is often not whether to use DMX or DALI, but where each technology should be applied within the project. Static zones, such as offices, classrooms, corridors, back-of-house spaces, healthcare environments, and daylight-responsive areas can benefit from DALI's reporting, diagnostics, and building management capabilities. Feature zones, such as facades, lobbies, atriums, ballrooms, hospitality destinations, entertainment venues, themed attractions, corporate experience centers, media facades, and other dynamic architectural environments can benefit from DMX, RDM, and Ethernet-based distribution technologies. Seen through that lens, the hybrid recommendation becomes straightforward. DALI can support the operational needs of the building, while DMX can support the visual experiences that define how people interact with a space. Rather than forcing a single protocol into every application, the most effective solution is often to leverage the strengths of both technologies and apply each where it delivers the greatest value. This concludes the DMX versus DALI module. As you've seen, both protocols play important roles in modern lighting systems. The key is understanding the requirements of each space and selecting the technology that delivers the right balance of performance, functionality, and long-term value. Thank you for completing this module. For additional resources, application guidance, and product information, please visit colorkinetics.com and Vari-Lite.com.